I'm Laura Calder, and I have a show called French Food at Home. I'm from Canada, and I've been cooking since I was a little girl and always loved it. So it's nice to make a career out of a passion. Yeah, I did a lot of university. I have several degrees, and I thought I'd be a diplomat. I mean, I wanted to travel internationally and do I guess that's what women of my generation were really taught. You can go out there, you can run a company, you can run a country too. So I guess I was thinking of those sorts of ambitious thoughts. And then I started in journalism and was in public relations briefly, and I couldn't sit in an office. Couldn't stand it. I just felt... So I took a leave of absence and went to a cooking school because that's what I loved to do. And I found I was, I'd go home from work and I'd immediately start cooking or reading cookbooks or food magazines. I was constantly at it, but it took me almost 30 years to figure out that that's what I wanted to do. I didn't have to come up with recipes so much before television because I would be writing things. It's a much slower process, or cooking in a daily way where you can make the same thing several times. So it's really television that meant, okay, you've got 26 episodes, you need 120 recipes in 3 months. That's tough. So for the shows, I always went back to France and spent several months there cooking, eating, and going to people's houses. But what I don't... I think my inspiration comes from real life. You know, when someone makes me something, I copy the recipe down, and ever since I was little, I would run after that sort of thing. I'm working on a new book right now, and I find myself going back to very old recipes. You know, things that I haven't even eaten in years. So, very classic things, and often things that I had in my childhood. And to make those again, things that's very inspiring. And they tell you something about yourself because there's personal history wrapped up in recipes like that. So I like that. I like the intimacy of those sorts of recipes. I think it's world class. I can't believe how huge it is, and everything is so clean and perfect and working and excellent working order. So I think anyone studying here is incredibly lucky. I went to a very small school, so it's impressive to see something so big and efficient, and everyone's very cheerful too, which is nice. Well, I'm not a professional chef in a professional kitchen. I cook. My style of cooking is very much home cooking. The reason men were associated with the sort of chef world is because women traditionally have been at home feeding families, which is primary, essential work, and it's something you do every day. I think it's too bad that home cooking is getting lost because it's really a skill that, when you do something every day and repeat, you become very skilled. And I think women have almost more flexibility now because you can decide to be someone who cooks at home and who feeds with love and really also preserves the culture, because every time you're making a recipe over and over again, you are holding the culture together and teaching. That's how it gets passed on. It's not by inventing some new dish that you're holding the culture together that way. So it's nice to be able to move through both worlds. So I think women have it extra good if they want it. Yes, I think if you're pursuing a culinary career, you've got to know you want to do it, for one thing, because it is extreme, especially if you're working in restaurants. That's a very stressful lifestyle. You work long hours, it's hard work. What's nice about it though is that it's tactile, so it's very rewarding. And I think you have to, just because you go to cooking school doesn't mean you have to become a chef in a restaurant. I didn't. I wanted to be a food writer, so there are lots of different routes you can take in the culinary field, so it's worth exploring a range. And in a more general sense, I say you have to, because there's so much competition now in the world of food, that you have to stay true to yourself, and you have to remember your roots. You have to know where you came from and be true to what you are, and then there's no competition because there's only one of you. So as long as you're really you, you're it.
you.